We're going to talk about the Bronco today because, well, I want to do a little bit of don't be fooled information. Recently, some major YouTubers covered the standard Bronco, either a Badlands or really a Sasquatch, as if it wasn't enough and you need a Raptor. Well, clearly you can see we have a Raptor F-150 and we also have our Bronco. We've had a non-Sasquatch Badlands, and this is an Outerbanks Sasquatch. So we're really going to be talking about our experiences both off-roading, back road driving, and driving at considerable highway speeds. Do recall, we brought our Badlands Bronco all the way to Florida and all the way back, which means we spent about well over 50 hours of driving the Bronco within a 2-week period. So I can right off tell you, for the don't be fooled section, while this major YouTube channel, I love their content, very entertaining. They, one of the many things they presented about being bad about the Bronco was the seats aren't comfortable. We went all the way to Florida in those Badlands seats, and the seats on the Bronco are extremely comfortable. So we're going to do a whole, what we feel is kind of an emergency don't be fooled coverage, because we don't want people feeling and thinking that if you don't have a Raptor Bronco, you don't have a good Bronco. So let's put the pedal to the metal and get right started. So we wish you all a fantastic family day, and just want to remind you, despite what some people will say, some big channels, when you're driving over really bad roads, there's no left-right wobble in the steering wheel. We've got, we put on 15,000 kilometers or 10,000 miles on Marie's Bronco. This has 6,000 miles. Badlands and Sasquatch Outerbanks, and in both cases we never had through tire wear. We haven't had any vibration. The suspension is fantastic over bumps, and we've spent about 2 hours today driving over dirt roads, back roads, some quite a bit bumpier than this. Actually, that actually kind of looks like most of the roads we've been driving over, but we were doing them at much faster speeds. We didn't have any issues. The steering on this is fantastic. It's excellent. It's 10 on 10. I'd say it's unbeatable. The seat comfort is incredible, and the stock tires are great. So some are gonna have you believe, because they're sponsored, of course, they're gonna try to have you believe that you need to buy aftermarket tires. But I'd say that's definitely not the case. These tires are fantastic. They wear evenly. They don't have any vibration at high speeds. One Bronco we took down to Florida, and we were driving, at some points we're doing 75, 80 miles per hour. And Marie, did you notice any tire vibration? Was it a comfortable ride?
Not at all. It was so comfortable.
It was really comfortable, and we've been doing roads like this here because we want to do the back roads to see the mountains, and we've been driving the whole time with the top open. And one channel in particular was saying that the soft top, the standard soft top, is just complete garbage, that you can't hear anything, and I couldn't disagree more. And I know Marie agrees with me on this, because we both spent an entire winter already, and a Canadian winter, so very cold temperatures, about as cold as they can go, and we didn't have any issues. The tops, if we were to, there's not much more than 1 or 2 degrees temperature difference between a hard top. I have friends that have the hard top, and we're noticing that when we heat the vehicle at, let's say 25 degrees Celsius in both, whether you have a soft top or a hard top, they're going to heat up quickly to 25. You're very comfortable. So you just have to be careful. And the channel in particular, they are heavily sponsored. They're a fantastic channel. They put out a lot of content, but they're pretty much, if either the biggest or one of the biggest off-road content channels. And they are, of course, Jeep fans. So it's easy for them, maybe coming in from loving their Jeeps and everything, saying things like they just got the Raptor, and apparently the Raptor, they say, has fantastic power, and they're right there. But then they're saying that they didn't like their Badlands because it didn't have enough power. And I find that really odd, because if I'm not mistaken, yes, they have a V8 Jeep, but they also have a 6-cylinder Jeep, and the 2.7 liter EcoBoost 6-cylinder engine from Ford, 2 turbos, is a heck of a lot better than Jeep's 6-cylinder. This 6-cylinder, as soon as you touch the pedal, it's got a lot of power. It pulls. Maddie has trouble holding on to the camera because naturally you just want to get thrown back in your seat. It's not, you know, wild, but it is very, very good. It's more than enough power. So I just want to point out the 2.7 liter is a powerful engine, more than enough to actually convince us that the Everglades 2.3 will actually be an interesting and more than adequate motor. So you just got to be careful. Everyone has their natural biases, whether they realize it or not. And I have to say, Marie and I used to have a Jeep Grand Cherokee, and we both several times have looked at Jeeps. We did a test drive on quite a bit of driving in a Gladiator. We did a little bit of driving in a 2-door Wrangler as well as a 4-door Wrangler, and one of those 4-door Wranglers was a Rubicon, so we were very tempted. And what actually had me steer away from that purchase as a secondary vehicle or as a winter vehicle, we ended up getting an F-150 Raptor, but the steering had shake and left-right pull when you're going over bumps, especially if you're going over bumps in a corner. And in our area, we have some of the worst roads. The roads are generally very bumpy, potholes everywhere, so that just wasn't adequate. So I was very surprised to actually have a major off-roading channel complaining about the steering on the Bronco, because the steering on the Bronco is actually excellent and it is far superior to Jeep. Now they're saying the Raptor Bronco that it had superior steering over the Jeep, but they also criticized it, saying its stock tires were pulling the vehicle, you know, creating vibrations and pulling the vehicle left and right, and they had to put aftermarket tires just so that the vehicle would drive, you know, in a straight line without vibrations. And maybe they had, you know, the random 1 out of 100,000 tires that had an issue. But I can tell you, Marie and I both have our Broncos, and Marie's didn't cause any trouble whatsoever. They came perfectly balanced for a very smooth, high quality ride. And I'd say so far of the SUVs I've owned and driven, this has the best ride. Marie, would you say it's one of the best rides? Average?
Yeah, one of the best, and I can show you it passed the poodle test. So we have 2 dogs here, almost sleeping, so it's a comfortable ride.
And often they do fall asleep on you, don't they?
Yeah.
So it's not a bumpy ride. There's no vibration in the steering wheel. When we're going over 6-inch holes, so a good 5-6 inches, then yes, you feel a little bit in the steering wheel, but we're going over, you know, sections, sometimes 20-30 feet of 2 to 6 inch holes. Then yeah, there is you feel a little vibration in the steering, which is, you know, good. You want to have some connection and some feeling with the road, but there's no left-right pull. Every day I take this through a corner and get onto a main road, getting off the highway, and at the top in the corner there's some pretty bad bumps. And with this vehicle, the vehicle keeps its line, it shakes a little, but it doesn't veer left and right. And the reason I didn't buy the Jeeps is because of that exact corner where there was left-right pull, both the vehicle going left-right, but also left-right pull in the steering and a lot of vibration. So I just wanted to put that out there. It's something that was bothering me and I wanted to get it off my chest. So thank you very much for watching and joining us for our little bit of a drive. And by the way, right now we're ranging between 70 and 80 kilometers an hour. We did dirt roads for 2 hours today, driving at that speed with the top open, and I'm pretty sure y'all can hear me. So I really don't see how we can say that the Ford standard stock soft top is problematic. It was fantastic in the winter. We didn't have any issues, and even when it's open, we can drive with it open and life is good. Now if we go to highway speeds, if we're going 75 miles per hour, down in Florida we were driving the top open, but we found it did get noisy. But here I am talking to you, and again, this channel was saying that with the stock soft top, when it's closed, you can't even have a conversation. And here I'm having a conversation, and I don't have some fancy mic hooked up right now because I didn't plan on making this video, but just straight off cell phone recording, which is when you have the most interference from wind and whatnot. You can still hear me and the top is open. And Marie, we have a lot of conversations at, well into good highway speeds, and we can talk perfectly in the vehicle, hear each other.
Yeah.
So I just want to put a little don't be fooled section on the Bronco. We'll talk more about it in this week's live. Hope to see you there. Bring your questions, your comments, and your concerns. And before we head off, let's just put it pedal to the metal. Mo was saying, yeah, Marie will hold the dogs. And getting onto this busy road, we'll put the pedal to the metal, and we'll see even at 100 kilometers or 60 miles per hour that you can drive with the top open and have a conversation. So a nice little acceleration to 100 kilometers an hour. And now, yes, the wind is getting louder, but Maddie and I, of course, through the cell phone, you're going to have more trouble hearing me, but Maddie and I often have conversations at this speed with the top open. The stock equipment that Ford provides us with is quality. So I just want to get that off my chest. I hope you are all having a fantastic family day. You're getting out and having a little bit of fun. Take care. We wish you all more cars and more power.